Okay, good morning, guys. How are you doing today? Good morning, online. Good morning. Hi. All right, so hope everyone are doing good and hope you had a nice time also. Sir, it's you only, sir. Huh? Okay. Nice. Okay, settle down, please. All right. So if I remember correctly, um, I gave yes, Priyanka. Thank you. Now, so I gave practicals, right, for IAM service, 1 day practice. So did you all completed all the practicals? Right? It's very easy, no? Everyone done online? So if I remember, we have created IAM users. We have created groups. And also what we did was we went inside the IAM user and discussed each and every section in it. Correct? So the next thing, the pending, what we have in the IAM is roles, policies. Should we do that? Okay, Nana. Nice. Yes, switch role topic is also there, right? Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, Chitty. So can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Okay. So do you remember, did you bookmark the IAM user sign-in link? Yes, so I have bookmarked like this. So this time you no need to go to Google and then type everything. So you can just come directly here and then log in, right? So Ria's AWS trainer and this and password I don't remember. So let me and then open MFA. Did you set up MFA? Three, 6, 4, 7, 6, 7. Yes. Okay, Nana. So let's go to IAM. Okay, so what we did was, in our last class, we created users and we created groups. So what are we have known, Nana? Roles and policies. Remember identity providers? Identity provider, identity center. What is it about? SSO. What is that about? SSO. What is SSO? Single sign-on. Before going through that, let's work on the roles. Before that also, let's try to create one user. You tell me, I'll create it. Okay. So with this, I'll get a confidence that you have done the practicals. Okay. So please help me to create one IAM user with EC2 full permissions. Tell me how to do it. Click on create user. That also you tell. Test user. Okay. Checka unchecka. Okay. First, second. Second one. Auto generate. Checka unchecka. Uncheck. Okay. Next. Okay. First, second, or third? Third one. So here what to search? EC2 full access. Very good. and then click on next and then create user. Good. So this is the password, and this password will be visible only for one time. So return to users list. So this is how we created the IAM user. And IAM is regional or global? Global. Very good. Now, today let's talk about the roles. What is a role? Temporary access without credentials. Agree? Temporary access without credentials. So let me give you, let me remind you. Let's say, for example, I have one EC2 instance, which is Linux. Which one, Nana? Linux EC2 instance. Inside that, is it possible for me to access AWS services through browser? No, because that is a Linux machine. So if I want to access AWS services, what is the software that I need to install? AWS CLI. Very good. AWS CLI. Once I configure AWS, once I install AWS CLI, after that, what I need to configure? Keys. Whatever. Very nice. What is that? Keys. What are those keys? Access keys and secret key. Okay. So, Nana, is it recommended to configure keys on your EC2 instance? Answer is no. It's not recommended. If it is, if you configure, what will happen? Someone will hack it. Someone will hack it. So, you switch off my monitor. Okay then. Okay. No, fine. You want that or you don't want? You don't want. Hold on. So you'll switch off the projector also. Done, na? Projector was on before? Okay. Okay. So let it come up. So आप तो जवानी है भाई, तो ठंड लग रही है. I have to be strong, right? ठंड. Okay. All right. So I was talking about the role. Okay. So if I configure the keys inside the EC2 instance, so what is the problem? It might be hacked. Someone can log in and your access keys and secret keys are easily visible. Now, if I don't want to configure the keys, but still I want to access AWS services. What is the concept that you can implement? IAM roles you need to implement. So what we need to do, we need to create one IAM role and then attach to the EC2 instance. Yes or no? So from the EC2 instance, what kind of services that you want to access? For example, let's say, okay, let me draw the diagram for you. Okay, see, I have EC2 instance. Okay, Rana? This is the EC2 instance. So this is the Linux EC2 instance. What is the software that I need to install? AWS CLI. From this EC2 instance, what kind of AWS service that you want to access? Give me one service name. S3. Good. You want to access what, Nana? S3. So is it recommended to configure the keys here? Not recommended. Then what you need to create? Roles you need to create. What you need to create? Roles. Okay. Role you created. Now, while creating a role, you need to attach the permission. No. While creating the role, you need to attach the permission. What kind of permissions that you want to attach to the role? Louder. S3. Which one? Yes or no? So Nana, you are attaching this role to the EC2 instance. So once you attach the role, you need to get the permissions, no? So what kind of permissions that you want to access? S3, no? So for the role, what kind of permissions that you need to add? S3 policy you need to attach. And once the role is created, then you attach to whom? EC2 instance. There are two things here, Nana. One is to whom you are attaching. Another thing is for the role, what kind of permissions that you are giving. What kind of permissions that you are giving, it depends upon what kind of service that you are accessing it. What kind of service that you are accessing it? That is a policy you need to attach to the role. And this role need to attach to whom? EC2. Now here S3 policy is called, to whom you are attaching here? EC2, right? To whom you are attaching? EC2. So we call it as here trusted entity. What is it called? Which is your entity here? Trusted entity? EC2. So you're attaching to whom? EC2, no? So who is your trusted entity? EC2 is a trusted entity. And from the EC2 instance, what kind of permissions that you have? S3. So where do you assign these permissions? While creating a role. Two things here, Nana. Two things. One is to whom you are attaching it. And for the role, what kind of permissions they are giving it. To whom you are attaching the role is called what entity? Trusted entity. And what kind of permissions, what kind of access that you need from the EC2 instance, that policy you need to attach to the role. You understand this? You understand? I'm repeating one more time. You tell me here. So I have launched one Linux EC2 instance. I have launched one Linux EC2. What this is a Linux EC2 instance. So if what kind of services that you want to access from the Linux machine, for example, S3. Okay, na? That is your requirement. From your EC2 instance, what kind of service that you are accessing in S3? That is your requirement. It can be RDS also, it can be Dynamo also, it can be anything also. But for example, I am taking as S3. So I want to access S3 from here. But this is a Linux machine, no? So what kind of software that I need to install for Linux machine? AWS CLI. Now, to authenticate AWS CLI, what I need to configure? Keys. Is it recommended to configure the keys on the machine? No, because if you configure the keys, some user's fellow will come inside it and then he'll hack the keys and then he will misuse the keys. Correct or not? So for that reason, I don't want to configure the keys here. But I still want to access S3 from here. If you don't configure the keys, can you access S3? No, you cannot authenticate. So if you configure, problem. If you don't configure, again problem. So what is the issue? What is the solution here for this? Roles. So you create a role. So you create a role, and while creating a role, you are attaching the permissions. What is that, Nana? While creating the role, you are attaching the permissions. So remember, while creating a role, we need to attach permissions. Okay, now we need to attach the permissions. No, what kind of permissions that you need to attach to the role? S3, no? Do you confuse with EC2? No. Permissions, that meaning what kind of service that you want to access from the machine, that permissions you need to attach to the role. And once the role is created, then you need to attach the role to whom? EC2. Okay, na? Who is your trusted entity here? EC2 is the trusted entity. Clear? Okay, now, did I teach you how to launch an EC2 instance yet? No. So what we do is, as we are only in IAM service, we will create a role. I'll show you how to create a role. But roles in action, can we see it now? No. So once we go further into the topics while launching EC2 instance and so many things, there we will see roles in action. But in IAM service, what do? We just create a role. So here you need to know how to create a role. Nana, you understood one scenario? Should I give one more scenario here? So you tell me now how to create this. Okay, one more scenario. Yes, Priyanka, correct. Nana, do you remember? Okay, so these are the EC2 instance. 1, 2. This is one EC2. Okay, you tell me, this 2 EC2 instance exactly at 9 p.m. it has to be stopped. Tell me how to do it. How to do it? Lambda function, no? Yes or no? Using Lambda, we need online people. How do we do it? Using Lambda. Okay, Lambda function. Good. Nana, clearly see here. Does the Lambda has permissions to stop the EC2 instance by default? Do I have permission? Do I have permissions to just hit you like this? No. If I'm your friend, I can hit it. Yes or no? But 2 services can talk to each other by default? No. 2 services cannot talk to each other by default. So if you want them to talk to each other what we need to use? Roles you need to use. What we need to use? Roles. Here also, inside the EC2 instance, you're talking to S3, but 2 services can talk to each other by default? No. What is the concept you need to use? Roles. Here also, I'm using the same scenario. See, now you need to create a Lambda function. So Lambda function should have permissions to go and stop the EC2 instance. For this, do you create an IAM user for Lambda? No, what you need to create? Role you need to create. Very good. See here, role you need to create. Now you tell me, clearly tell me, while creating a role, we need to attach the permissions, no? Think and tell me. Now I am creating a role. What kind of permissions I need to attach to the role? I'm saying permissions. I'm not, there are two things, trusted entity, permissions, two things. To whom you are attaching the role is one thing. After attaching the role, to whom you are giving the permissions. So for role, what kind of permissions I need to attach here? Which service? Which service? EC2 service. Yes or no? No. Here, which service I need to give? EC2. Once the role is created, to whom you need to attach? Lambda you need to attach. To whom you need to attach? So what is the trusted entity here? Lambda. Trusted entity is Lambda. So you create a role. Lambda should have what permissions? Lambda should have what permissions? EC2 to stop and start, no? EC2 permissions to stop the EC2 instance here. So that meaning while creating role, what kind of permissions you need to give? EC2. And this role need to attach to whom? Lambda you need to attach. Once the role is attached to Lambda, as you have EC2 permissions to role, and Lambda can have permissions to the EC2. So remember here in roles concept, to whom you're attaching trusted entity is one concept, and second thing is about the permissions. Do not get confused. Is it clear or you want me to repeat? Everyone. Clear? Sisi, Nana, online. Is it clear? Okay, see here. So, second scenario, I'm repeating it. You answer it, okay? So I have how many EC2 instances here? What is our requirement? At 9 o'clock exactly, I need to stop the EC2 instance. Okay, Nana? Will you be in office exact at 9 p.m. to stop the EC2 instance? You exactly 5 o'clock, you will leave the company office, correct? Okay. So then who will be there? Behalf of you, who will stop your EC2 instances? Lambda function will stop. So what you need to create here? Behalf of you, Lambda functions. So Lambda function you created. Stop function you created. Okay, now. You wrote a small Bush code, Python code. You wrote a small Python code. And this is just a code. And that is the Lambda, that is in the Lambda function. Does the Lambda function has permissions to go and stop the EC2 instance? No, you just wrote the code. That's it. How do you authenticate there? No, you cannot, right? So by default, no. By default, no. So now you have the Lambda function ready. You have the EC2 instance ready. But the Lambda function, it just like, see, you went to the restaurant, right? You see nice biryani, but you don't have money to eat. Yes or no? If you want to eat biryani, what you need to do? Pay the money here. Money is what here? Role. Money is what here? Role. So you are a Lambda function, your biryani is your EC2 instances, right? Here also, so you have the EC2 instance readily available and you have Lambda function readily available. Does the Lambda has permissions to go and stop the EC2 instance? No. So what you need to create, Nana? Role you need to create. So while you're creating a role will ask, Babu, give me the permissions. So what kind of permissions that you need? To which service you need the permissions? EC2 only, no? Because Lambda should go and stop the EC2 instance, no? So that meaning you create a role and you attach what permissions? EC2 permissions. Now role is ready. Role is ready with what permissions? EC2 permission. And this role you need to attach to whom? Lambda. Once you attach to the Lambda, what will happen? Lambda will get full energy and say that, yes, I have the role and I have what weapon? EC2 full access weapon. So this Lambda will go and stop the EC2 instance. You understand? So you are attaching the role to whom is the trusted entity. Is it clear? Online, is it clear? Super, Nana. So let's take these two scenarios and create a role. IAM is very simple. So IAM we just created. Implementation. See here, we have Lambda functions. Did we learn about Lambda functions? No. So when we go later into after a few days, so we learn Lambdas and all, then we'll try to create the roles again. But here in IAM, what we create now, we create just roles. Roles will action. Can we see it now? No. We just create the roles. So now how many scenarios are there? 2 scenarios are there. Should we go and create the roles for this 2 scenario? Which one should we go for first? First scenario? See this first scenario for 2 seconds. I mean, at least 5 seconds. And I will create the role. You tell me how to create the role. I'm repeating it here. Assume you have one EC2 instance. Forget about AWS and all. In IAM, what we need to create? While creating a role, it will ask to attach the permissions. You tell me in this first case, what kind of permissions that I need to attach? Super. And to whom you are attaching the role? What is the trusted entity here? Should we create it? Okay. Let's go, Nana. See here. On the left side, we have what? Roles. Now, left side, we have roles. Okay, see. Create a role. Create a role. See, these roles, is it AWS service that you're attaching it, or you are attaching to some other AWS account, some other things? AWS service only, no? Okay. It is asking what here, Nana? Trusted entity. So in your first scenario, what is the trusted entity? Super. Which one? EC. So here, use case, you need to select what, Nana? EC2. So first is all about trusted entity. And then simply click on next. And now it is asking what? Permissions. Based on the first scenario, tell me what kind of permissions that I need to attach. S3, no? So let's go to here and search for S3 full access. That's it. Click on next. Give the role 9 AM. First role. You just created, no? First role. So create role. Understand? Role got created. And this role need to attach to whom? EC2. But did we learn how to launch an EC2 instance? No. When we learn how to launch an EC2 instance, there again I'll create the roles and I'll show you there. So in IAM, what we need to do, we just need to create roles. Do you understand how to create a role in the first scenario? Okay, na? Now same thing you tell me for the second one. See that for a couple of seconds. Permissions, trusted entity. That is only 2 important things. Okay, na? Should we go and create a role? I don't talk, you tell me. Create role, AWS service. Here. Here what? Lambda. Everyone, most of the people will confuse here only. Right? Here it is Lambda, trusted entity. Here we have Lambda. And most commonly used services are EC2 and Lambda only. That's why here it is. Can we attach to other services also? Of course, based on your requirement. Select Lambda and then click on next. Which permissions here? EC2 permissions. Fantastic. Select it, create it, and then 9 AM second role. You can give any name. I'm just giving for fun. Nana, do you understand how to create a roles? Clear? Everyone? CC? Okay. Now, let me introduce one more important topic. Okay. So, okay. You can disable. Okay, there is a question from Lahu. Once the user is disabled, can you enable it again? Yes. Let's say, for example, you have only one IAM user, your main IAM user. You have disabled your own IAM user. And can you log in it? That's why I said, don't hit your own eye. Okay. So you create a new test user and do work on the test user, not with your own user. Okay. But it's easily can be done. Allahu. Okay, Nana. So yes, I was talking about switch user concept. Okay. Assume this will be fun. See here, guys. Now this is my account. Which account? My account. So every account will have AWS ID or not? Let's say this is Ria's AWS account. How many digits? AWS account ID? How many digits? 12 digits. Is it possible for me to remember this 12-digit number? What you need to create for this? Super. Can we call it as account name or alias? You can call it as alias. So what is my alias? For example, Ria's AWS trainer, for example. That's my alias. Okay. This is my account, Nana. My account. So my account. So now Asif is there. Did I told about this concept? No, right? So Asif is there. So now Asif wants to access my account. Asif want to access my account. Yes or no? So if he want to access my account, what I need to create for him here? Correct, no? Okay. So what we need to create here is IAM user. Create IAM account or user called Asif. Okay. And while creating IAM user, we need to give permissions, no? So what kind of service that you want to access in my account? Asif? S3. Okay, let's put S3. But the problem here is Asif is not in my company. Asif is not my employee. Asif is from other company. Let's assume some other consultant, some other guy, outside guy. For outside guys, is it recommended to create IAM user in your account? Then tell me. No, it's not good, right? Because he's a completely outsider. He's not in my organization. He's not in my company. So is it good to create IAM user like my employees? No. How I differentiate? I cannot give like this, right? So for this, how do we access here? Okay, so it's not recommended to create IAM user for this kind of third-party people in my account. Okay, here Asif also has his own account or not? AWS account. This is Asif's AWS account. He also has AWS account ID. Every account will have AWS account ID. Okay. Nana, so Asif want to access my account, but I don't want to create the IAM user. Without credentials, he want to access my account S3 service. What is the concept that you use? How you are answering it now? Roles, na? Correct? Your mind is getting triggered, right? Without credentials, if you want to access AWS service, what is the first thing that you will get your mind? Roles concept. So now Asif want to access my account. So do I need to create IAM user here? No. What I need to create? A role. Where I need to create? Ria's account or Asif account? Ria's account. So here I go and create a role. IAM role. So I say that IAM role is what role? Asif role. I'll give the name. Now, while creating a role, we need to give permissions, no? Tell me what kind of permissions I need to give here for Asif role. Excellent. What? S3. Because he want to access what? S3. And while creating a role, it will ask, Babu, give me the AWS ID. Whose AWS ID? Asif's AWS ID. Asif's AWS ID you need to give. After giving all these details, once you create a role, what will happen is, Nana, URL will be generated. One URL will be generated. That URL, you give it to Asif. So Asif will access this URL and log into Ria's AWS account and access only what service? S3 service. And by default, it is valid only for session is valid for 1 hour. You understand? This is one way of accessing it. That meaning I'm creating a role for Asif and I'm giving the URL to him to access it. And every AWS account will have on the top something called switch account. What is that? I'm so sorry. It's called switch role. What is that? Have you seen the switch role? Ekada? Right? Where? Do you see this here? So this switch role, I am telling you here, this is one scenario. No, this is one scenario where I give the URL to Asif. Another scenario is Asif can do what? Switch role. Once he log into his own Asif's account, there he has switch role. Once he click on switch role, it will ask, hey Babu, to which account you want to switch? To whom account he want to switch? Account name. Account name. Riaz, AWS, Treya. That is the account name. Oh, and it will ask, Babu, what is the role name? Asif role. And then click on switch role. Once you click on switch role, now this guy Asif will be virtually into my account. So if you want to access other AWS account, is it good to create IAM users for them? Create a role and give proper permissions. Now, in this case, for Asif, I have given which permissions? S3. Is it good to give S3 full permissions? Policies are two types. What are those? Managed policy and inline policy. Is it good to use managed policy or is it good to use inline policy? Correct, no? Because inline meaning only limited permissions will give. Is it good to, Asif is completely some third party guy. Is it good to give full S3 permissions to him? Then I'll clearly ask Babu Asif, what exactly that you need in my S3? And he'll say that in S3, what do we create? Buckets. And it says, sir, there is a bucket called this hello test bucket. So I want that to access. So I'll write an inline permissions only for that accessing the test bucket. That's it. Other buckets, can he access it? No. You understand this? This is called what, Nana? Switch role. What is this concept called? Switch role. Switch role. See here. So here we have switch role. So if I open this, it will ask what? Account name and role name. See, switch role. See, Asif is doing like this, switch role. And it is asking what? Here, account name is AWS, Riaz AWS trainer. Role, what role, Anna? Asif role. And display name, search account. Because he need to identify, no? Search account. And once you click on switch role, he will be virtually into my account. So as a part of practical, what you do you have your friend with AWS ID? Yes, no, definitely yes, right? So there will be a friend for you. Or else you can have your batch someone, ask them, hey, please give me your account ID. Or if you have two accounts also, you can use, right? So use that account ID and create a role and ask, and you log into their account or ask that guy to log into your account and access it. Nana, did we here in my scenario have given which permissions? S3 permission, but do you know S3? You don't know. So which is the service that you know in and out now? IAM only, no? So is it better to give S3 policy or IAM policy? So that you can go here and there and create users and do whatever based on the permissions you can use it. Is it clear? Understood switch role? Should we create switch role? Should I show you how to create a switch role now? Okay. So guys, online, if anyone has AWS ID, can you please paste it in the chat? I'll use that AWS ID, please. Just one ID is enough. Okay, Nana. So where is this? Create role. What we need to create role only, no? Yes, click on create role. You tell me. This time, trusted entity is AWS services, AWS account. AWS account. Click on it. So you are doing connection to this account, another account. Select this. Give me account ID, guys. Online. Account ID I need. The 12-digit number. So Bhaya Saab. Okay. So Lahu is given. Okay. So I'm putting here. Assume that I'm creating Lahu's account role. Okay. So here. So if you want to require MFA, select MFA is required. And best practice is third-party users, they'll have their external ID. So in real time, they will give to you. So there will have an external ID, give that ID and put it. But these are all optionals for you. So click on next. And you want to give what permissions? I am permissions. I am full access. Click on next. Role name, I call it as Lahu role, because that is Lahu ID. Okay. And then create a role. That's it. That's it. So here Lahu role got created, no? Yes or no? If I go inside it, and do you see this URL? So this URL, to whom I need to give? Lahu. So if you take this URL and try to postmortem it, do you see this? So this is all very common, correct? No. Assign in switch role colon role name. What is the role name that I have created? Lahu role. To which account he or she is accessing? Riaz AWS 10. So with this URL, you can easily identify to whom you are logging to the account. And this is valid for how much hours? Can you edit and change it to how much hour you want? Yes, you can. This is one way of accessing it. Otherwise, what Lahu can do? Lahu can open here and click on switch role and give the role name and then account name. Understood, Nana? Nana, anytime can go in here. Permissions, what kind of permissions I have given? I am. Can anytime go and detach it? Yeah. So trusted relationship. To whom you are trusting? That Lahu account ID or not? Yes. Access advisor is related to what? What kind of permissions this role has? What kind of permissions you have given? I am related. I am meaning AWS organizations also will come. Revoke sessions. Now Lahu is doing some nasty things in my account. And all of a sudden I identify, hey, you are doing some nasty things. So click on revoke active. Revoke active session meaning what? Cut. All sessions, whatever Lahu is doing, I go and cut it, revoke it, abandon it. Not clear? How to create a roles? Super. Okay, so that is on the roles concept. Okay, and now coming to what, Nana? Policies. So we know very well policies are how many types? 2 types: managed policy and inline policy. Whatever the policies that you're seeing here with this orange color symbol, all those are all what, Nana? Managed policies. All those are all managed policies. So inline policies we need to create, and policies are written in which format? JSON format. Certification question. JSON format. So do you need to learn JSON separately? Not required, because you have one editor. What editor? Visual editor. Which one? Visual editor. So whatever you need, tick, 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 select it. Automatically JSON code is generated. So now we'll take, so if you want to write a policy, we need to take a scenario, no? So write an inline. This is an inline policy we are writing. Inline policy meaning we need to have a scenario. So we know each and everything about IAM. Should we go and write one policy? Let's say, for example, I create a user here. Who is the user? Test user. I want, whenever the test user has logged into my account, I want him to access only IAM service, not full access, not full. I don't want to give full. I want to give him access only to create user, update user, create group, update group, nothing else. Nothing else. You understand the scenario? I created Asif account, I am user, right? I created Asif I am user, but I don't want to give full permissions to Asif I am permissions. I want to give only limited permissions. So what is the limited permissions I'm taking as an example? Create user, update user, create group, update group. Can he delete it? Can he delete the user? No. He can only update. Can he create roles? No. Can he create policies? No. I want him only to create user, update user, create group, update group. Sir, why only this? Why? That is my requirement. You can also have your own requirement. That is my requirement now. Should we go and create this policy? Everyone understood? Should we go and create a policy? Okay. How, Nana? On the left side, we have policies. And here on top, here we have create. Whenever you're creating a policy, that policy is inline policy. Yes or no? Is it possible to create managed policy? That is created and managed by whom? AWS, no? So if we are creating by us, that is called inline policy or customer managed policy. Huh? Should we go and create policy now? Create policy. Okay. Okay. So I told you we have visual editor and you have JSON. If you know how to write a JSON code, click on it and then start writing it. So if you take this here, Nana, this version is constant. Okay, so let me explain this a little bit. Do you see this here? So this version is very common. That is AWS version for this for this JSON, and then statement block. So everything it contains, all the statements. SID is statement ID, which you can give any name here. And effect, what is this, Nana? These three are very important. So this one you need to modify, this one you need to modify, this one also you need to modify. Only these are three important things. So this is one statement block. Can we have multiple statement blocks? Yes. Okay, so here, this is one statement. Effect is allow. Nana, there are two types of effects. One is allow, another one is deny. So if you allow it, allow what? Actions you need to mention. Let's say in actions, you can mention like create user, delete user, update user, what kind of actions that you want to do, that all will come under the action. Not only IAM, easy to all services, any service also you can give. That come under the action. Now, next one is resource. To whom? Now here, we are creating create group, update group is there, no? Update group meaning you are giving permissions to update group, no? Which group? We might have multiple groups, no? DevOps group is there, security group is there, admin group is there. So many groups will be there, no? And you are giving update group permission here. Which group? If you put star, that meaning all groups. If you want to update only particular group, can you give the ARN for that group here? What is the ARN? Amazon resource number, name. Okay, you will never forget, I think. Right? So every group, every user, every role, everything will have a ARN. So now, if you are giving update group, update user, this policy will think, Babu, you are saying update user, update group. Which user, which group? Right? So you can say update group, you can say Babu Palana, for particular group. Particular group. And particular update user is there, no? Which user? Particular user. If you put star, that meaning all. So can we make it particular group also, particular user also, particular ARN also? That will come under the resource. These actions will be done on which resource will come under here. Nana, is this clear? Is it clear? So these statement blocks can have multiple statement blocks. So I think it's better to write this. So I'll write it. Can you write this, guys? Hold on. So I don't give like this for you. Okay, write down. Call it as IAM policy structure consists of version, ID, statement. Version meaning policy language version. Always include 2012. And identifier for the policy. Optional. One or more individual statements is required. And I'll write here. Statement consists of SID, effect, well, search, an identifier for the statement, which is optional. Effect. Whether the statement allow or deny principle user. Contains the list of actions this policy allow or denies. Yes, stop. Applies to. Yes. So these are the things that you get it on the IAM policy structure. Only this. But apart from this, you don't get anything. So I wrote all these things clearly. Please write down. Very important, and it comes on the certifications also. Done? Fast. Okay, nice. Now see here, I'll try to explain it. So policy consists of what? Version, ID, and statement. So version is what? That's a policy language versions. You no need to change. That should be always 2012, 10, 17. You should not change. It's common. And ID is in the identifier for the policy. That meaning you are writing the policy. No, you can name that policy. Name of the policy is nothing but here ID. Statement also. What the statement contain? What? Block of statements, one or more individual statements that is compulsorily required. So here like this statement. Can we have one statement? Can we have multiple statements also? Yeah, right. One statement I can write it for one service. Another statement I can write it for another service. In inline policy, can we have multiple service permissions? Possible. So, and this statement block consists what, Nana? SID, effect, action, resources. So SID is just an identifier. Effect meaning whether this policy is allowing or denying. If you say allow, whatever the actions that you have mentioned, only that will be allowed. Rest everything will be deny. If you say effect is equal to deny, the mentioned actions will be denied. Rest everything will be allowed. So you need to make a choice whether you want to allow or deny. And then here principal to whom you are, it is for the account. This is optional basically. This is for account user role to which the policy should be applied to. Actions. What are the things that you are applying? Are you creating user or launching EC2 instance, creating buckets? What? Those all come under the actions. Resources. That's what I just, on which resource you are applying this policy. You said update user, no? Which user it will ask. If you put star, he can update all users. If you put only particular ARN of the user, he can update only the particular user. And conditions. Can you put a conditions also? Yes, you can. I'll show you. Is it clear, Nana? This policy structure? Should I go and create one policy now? So what is the scenario that we took? Create user, update user. Create group, update group. Should we take only this small policy? Okay, see here. I'm canceling this and create policy. So will you go for JSON or will you go for visual? JSON meaning you need to write. If you know JSON, you need to write the code or you can copy paste the code if you have it. Otherwise, you go with the visual. So select a service to which service you're writing the policy here? IAM. Yes or no? So which service you need to select here? IAM. Okay, na? Slowly. And then here we have these levels. What are these called? Access levels. What are these, Nana? So first one, you need to select the service. To which service you are writing the policy, right? Can you write only for IAM? Can you write for S3 also? Can you write for EC2 also? Can you write for RDS also? Your wish. So as we know, till now only IAM. For that reason, I have selected the IAM. Okay. Now here I said, if I select this all IAM actions, IAM : star. That meaning what is that about? If I say IAM : star, instead of saying all, say as full access. What is that? IAM : star. That meaning everything in IAM you have the permissions. That meaning full access. IAM : star represents always full access. But do you need full access now? No. Okay. Next, coming to the access level, we have list, read, write. What is that? List, read, write. Nana, in order to read, first into list, no. In your Excel sheet also, if you open Excel sheet, first it will get list down, no? Then only you can read, no? Without listing, can you read it? So that's the difference between list and read. Write, permissions management. Okay, now, should we open list? If I open list, do you see these many things are there? Out of all these things, I want to list what? Users and groups. Can it show me where is those? Last list user is there. List groups. And I don't want to do anything here. That is my requirement. Do you have any questions, sir? Why did you select only those two? Based on a requirement only, no? Based on the requirement only, you need to select. And if you observe this, everything is starting with what? List. So now I have selected list group, list users. If I put list star, that meaning what will happen? All list all. I'm not giving full permissions, only list permissions. I can list all, but I don't want to list everything here. I selected list groups, list users. Okay. Next, read. Here, what I can read? Here, read meaning it will start with get. Get meaning what, Anna? Read. Get user, get groups. I don't want anything else. You're getting it? Based on requirement, you only select it. Okay. Okay. Now, read is done. Next, write. Create a user. Create group. Create group. Next, update. Where there. See backside. Update group. Update. Okay. Okay. So update user and then update group. You understood? Based on the requirement, you need to select it. Don't ask me, sir, why did you select only those things? Because that is my requirement. Right? If you have requirement to delete user, select delete user. If you want to requirement to create role, delete role. You want to create alias, delete alias, create MFA devices, up to you, whatever the requirement, right? I select those things here. Next, permissions management. Do I need to do anything about the permissions? Can this test user? I don't want to create any policies. I don't want him to delete any policies. Nothing related to it. So do I need to select anything here? That is my requirement. Let's say, for example, if you are allowing him to create users, create policies. Can we select this? Can he delete policy? Can he attach this policy to someone? Yes. But I don't want to do anything here. Tagging, tag. How many tags you can give per user? So that I don't want to tag also, nothing. Do you understand? No. Based on the requirement, you need to select. Is it clear? Online, is it clear, everyone? Super. Now coming to watch partner here, resource. So here it is asking resource for all or specific. If you put all, that meaning it will work for all users. So you have selected create update group, update user. No, which group, which user? All users, all groups. But I don't want all. I want only specific. Here it is asking, Babu, you said specific, no? Which group you want to update? You need to put an ARN. Assume that we have already add ARN here. So your group is in this account, any account, other account, this account. And here group name is, let's say, DevOps, for example. This is the ARN of the DevOps group. I have not created the group now, but assume that you have a group. You know how to create a group. You create a group and you have the ARN of that group and then add ARN. And it's a update user. No, which user? You can select anything. This account, which user? Let's say for test user. Add ARN. Getting it? No, getting it? So can we add multiple ARNs also for users and multiple groups? You can give permissions. You're getting it, right? So here, next coming to condition. Let's say this policy, Nana, this policy that I'm generating, did I attach to any user yet? No, I have not. I'm not creating. I have not yet created the policy. Once I created a policy, to whom you need to attach? To the user you need to attach. Which user? Test user I can attach, or any user you can attach. If you attach this policy to any user, I can say that user should have MFA mandatorily, and that user should do all these actions at this particular IP range only. Let's say I created Asif user. I created Asif user. So I'll say, Asif, you should be only in this network if you want to do all these things. Condition. I'm putting condition. Nana, you understood how to generate the policy? So now it might be difficult for you, but once you get habituated by creating so many policies, you'll get habituated. Aramse, no problem. First time it will be like this. And I'll make you more confident. But is it clear till here before that? Nana, is it clear? Online, is it clear, Nana? Okay, so now I have set up all these things, right? If I click on JSON, automatically the code has generated. See, you see the code? Yes or no? No, this code is any rocket science, you tell me. If this code is rocket science to understand, you tell me. See here, version, statement. How many statements are there here? Only one statement. See here, SID, you know, effect is what, Nana? Allow. In action, what is that action? IAM colon. Which service? IAM service. In IAM, what you're doing? Update user, update group, get user, create user, get group. Can I add any? Can I add more also here? Yeah, based on requirement you can. On which resource? DevOps resource, test resource. Because you are saying update group, update user. No. Which group you can update? DevOps group. Which user you can update? Test user. And condition and the MFA should be true. Whereas, of course, if you want to, first you need to list user, list group. Guys, clear? Is it rocket science to understand JSON? No. Let me give you few more things here. If you go to our Google Mother, AWS IAM sample policies. Let's say, for example, Nana, I'll show you the IAM policy. You tell me what is it doing, huh? Tell me, see this policy and tell me what is doing. Yes, yes. Is it full access, huh? Full access meaning all access. Is it full access, huh? No, it is read access. What is that? Get list represent for what? Read only, na? So if I say get star, list star, everything related to get, you can list, you are getting it. Everything related to list, you are listing it. If I say I am colon star, then that meaning full access. Very good. This one we did now. Think and answer. My first question is, this is effect is allow or deny. And next question is, this policy is related to which service? IAM. And what are the actions that he can do? Add user to group, remove user from group, get group. First of all, you need to get group, then only you can add particular user to the group and remove particular user from the group. Which group? Developers group. And so can we say that this policy is related to add user to the group, remove user to the group for only developers and operator groups? You understanding? You're understanding the policies? I told you, latestly I wrote 1000-line policy in the company. You just keep on going what you need. That's it. Okay. Okay. See. Tell me this. Condition also there. Tell me that condition. EC2 full access is fine. And base, what is the condition there? Only for AP South -1. That means what? Which one? So can you reframe the with the what? Tell me the sentences. What is this policy about? Tell me in one line. Full EC2 access for Mumbai region. Yes or no? Good. Good. Tell me this. Exactly. Full EC2 permissions only from that IP address. You're getting it? Right? Okay, so that's fine. So Nana, do you all understood how to create a policy now? And then simply click on next and give the policy name. So 9 a.m. first policy. Create policy. Do you all understood how to create a policy? And this policy I just created. Now what I need to do? I need to attach this policy to the user. Now I have created test user. No, tell me how to attach this policy. What should I do? I want this policy to attach to test user. What I need to click? Select this. Attach to whom? Test user attach. Okay. So if the test user will log in now, if the test user is logged in now, the same permissions will be applied for him. Clear? Is it clear? Super. So Nana, that is about the roles and then policies here. Account settings, you know very well. Password policies, these are all fine. And access analyzer. What is this? Do you remember we discussed about access analyzer? What is that about? Yes, let's assume if we have so many users and policies, is it possible for us to go and find out the loopholes? Not possible. So what you need to do, you need to create a analyzer. If you see this, you can create this analyzer on particular region basis. We should be in which region? Generally, IM is global, but when you're creating the analyzer here, you need to select the region. Please write down in your book because that is a certification question. Access analyzers can be created regionally. Access analyzer report can be created regionally. Access analyzer report can be created regionally in IAM service. In IAM service. Okay, Nana? So actually, Nana, do we have huge things to create now? But if you want to create, very simple. Click on see here, create analyzer. Nothing is there. See, name, give the name, and you want to create for entire organization or for a current account? Organizations meaning what? If you want to manage multiple root accounts, every root account will have their own IAM policies, IAM users, no? And if you want to create this analyzer for your entire organization, select the current organization. Or if you want to create only for this account, create it. Click on create analyzer. Let's create. So once you click on create analyzer, what will happen, Nana? Oh, do you see this? It has already did one finding. What is finding here? So Lahu role it found because Nana, this is security breach. Why? I have given full permissions to this. Yes or no? S3 full permissions I've given for Lahu role, no? And this is I have given for external user, external account. For that reason, it says that Babu, there is one issue, go and solve it. So like this in real time, if you have so much of IAM users and roles, if you create this analyzer like this, you will get to know what is the problem there and you can fix it one by one. Okay, Nana? Understood? So, and then here we have credentials report. What is credentials report? Let's say, for example, if you're a manager, come and ask, hey, can you please give me the details of all IAM users? Will you go and open the Excel sheet and list write down one by one? Just to go here and click on download credential report. Simple. An Excel sheet has downloaded. Do you see the report? Open it. Change. Online. Guys, 1 second. There is a quick announcement. We have our mentors here, so they will talk for a minute. 1 second online.
Hi guys, good morning. We are having lab at 3rd floor. You can utilize the lab facilities. Whatever doubts you are having, you can come and join in the lab. Mentors are there. We are the mentors and we can explain you your doubts. Okay, whatever your doubt is there, we can clarify. And for online students, 2 to 4 doubt session is there. Your online link, I think it has been provided. You can join in that link and it is only for doubt session. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So the link will be provided in your classroom, Google Classroom, or else you can contact online people. Contact, who is your admin? Yeah, Mr. Srikanth. All right. Okay. So do you see this, Nina? So this is the credentials report. How many users are there at the moment? So, so one is your root account. This is IAM user and this is one more. So the ARN of it, and when the user got created, the password is there or not, when they change the password, when they have last use, last change password, all entire information, you will get it from the report. Assume we have only 2 users now. Assume if we have 200 users. So you just download the report and you can filter based on your requirement here. Clear? So that is on the credentials report. And we have something called here identity center. Before going that, is this clear on the IAM? This is all about IAM. Easy? Done? IAM is a very simple, very cute service. And that too, we took these many days. That's fine. But is it clear till here? Do we have 5 more minutes? So we'll finish it off online. Huh? So here we have something called identity center. What is it, Nana? Identity center. Do you remember I told you about this identity center? So identity center, assume that we have multiple accounts. 1, 2, 3. Remember this. This is one AWS account. Huh? This is another AWS account. This is another AWS account. And I call this as dev, tester, prod. Remember this. And I want one user, Asif. Sir, why you are taking always Asif? Huh? Okay, tell me one, Rajesh, Madhu, what is your name? Oh. Harsha. Okay. Nadim bhai, I'll take next time. Huh? Okay, so Harsha is there. So now, Nana, see, Harsha has joined my company. Harsha has joined my company. In my company, how many accounts are there? 3 accounts. Nana, is it now 3 accounts? Is it good to manage individually? No. What do you need to have? What do you need to have? Organizations. What do you need to have? Organization. So can I make all this in one organization? Yes. So I have my main account. Let's say, for example, this is my main account, member account. What is that? Management account. This is my management account. And the rest, these two are what, Nana? Member account. Which is my main account here. Prod is my main account. And these two are my member account. Okay, na? So I want all this to be in the organization. Now, Harsha joined my company. And he said, sir, I want to access dev and test environments. So do I need to create IAM user in dev and test 2 IAM users? What I need to create? Only one. So where? In identity center. In identity center, I need to create a user called Harsha. And while creating user called Harsha, I will assign which account? Dev test. And this identity center will give the URL. He open the URL and he will get, hey, which account you want to access? Dev or tester. And then select the dev and then he can log in. Is it clear? So before this, in order to do the practicals for this, you need to have minimum how many accounts? Minimum 2, no? Do you have 2 accounts? Do you have many 99% people don't have the 2 accounts because creating one account itself is difficult, right? So you know need to do practicals on this. But what I do is tomorrow, anyways, today IAM is done. So from tomorrow, which is the service that we'll be starting? Excellent. So next service we talk about is the backbone of AWS and the biggest service in AWS, which is EC2. So before I start the EC2, what I do is I'll give a couple of minutes. I'll show you a demo on this very quickly. You don't need to do any practicals, but I'll show you from my account. Okay, Nana? Is it clear? Will you able to do the practicals still now on the roles and policies? Okay, so the task for you here is this. So till here you are done, right? I want you to do this. See, Nana, quickly. Now, can you create a role and assign permissions with 2 scenarios? Take the screenshot first. These 2 scenarios. Okay. And switch role. And if you already wrote it, right? But if you want, you can take it. You already wrote, but yeah. Nana, if you have patience, you can create one more account. It's not mandatory, but if you want to play with identity center, one more account is fine, but you don't get any bills there because you don't do anything there, no? So if possible, try to create it and then we can do these practicals also, okay? Okay. Nice. And now coming to the practical, see here. No? So can you create the roles with and assign permissions for these two scenarios? Okay. Can you create one inline policy? Yes. So inline policy is like this. See, create two IAM users called test1, test2. Test1, can you assign IAM full permissions? Test2, IAM read-only permissions. And I want you to log out and log in with test1 and verify what he can do. And next is create one more user called tester3. And this user should be able to only create user, list user, get user, create group, list group, update user, update group, only these things. And then log in with test and attach this test, attach this policy to the test3 and log out and log in with test3 and see what test3 can do. And final one is switch user. And last one is identity center. You no need to do, but have two root accounts. This is optional. That I'll show you tomorrow. Take the screenshot of this task. Or someone can, I'll post it in classroom also. Okay, Nana, will you able to do these practicals? Easy, no? And practicals, I'll be little bit strict because if you do the practicals, then only the hands-on will come, and in your real time also you can do it. Only theory is not good, so we need to do the practicals also. And everyone, please remember, don't stack it up. Don't think like, sir, Saturday, Sunday, I'll do it. By the time you'll get so many practicals. Complete on the same day. It's good for you. Okay, now? Good. Can you give the final CC for today, please? Online. And once you are done with IAM, it's always best practice, go and delete your unwanted IAM users and unwanted roles, unwanted policies. Okay. It's free, but keep your account clean, right? Good. So that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow with the next beautiful topic. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day and see you tomorrow, guys. Bye.